You ever feel like your worth is just measured by what you can produce? We're going to dive into that exact idea today with a really simple but honestly pretty profound story about a pigeon and a hen. It's one of those classic fables that kind of holds a mirror up to our own world, and it asks a pretty tough question about where we actually find our value.
And this, right here, is the question at the absolute heart of our story. In a world that's constantly asking, so what have you done for me lately? What happens to the ones who can't answer? Let's step into this world and find out.
All right, so let's start where every good story does, right at the beginning. We find ourselves on what looks like a perfectly normal farm. But, just like any society, this one has its own rules, and they are unforgiving.
On this farm, the whole economy is simple, and it's brutal. Your value is completely transactional. The hens, they're valued for their eggs. The pigeons, same deal. It's a world where your entire worth is tied directly to your output. If you produce, you belong. Simple as that. A system of pure utility.
But let's be honest, a perfect, predictable world makes for a pretty boring story, right? Every great narrative needs some kind of disruption, a little crack in the foundation of what's considered normal. And in our story, that disruption comes in the form of one single lone pigeon.
And there it is. That's the word that changes everything. Exception. The story suddenly zooms in, singling out this one individual who breaks the pattern. This is the exact moment the quiet, predictable hum of the farm gets interrupted, and the real tension starts to build.
0. A single damning number. Think about it. In a world where your value is literally counted in eggs, 0 isn't just a number, it's a judgment. It's the ultimate failure to contribute, a failure to justify your own existence in the eyes of the farmer.
So, in a world with rules this rigid, a failure of this size, it can't just be ignored. We've now reached the story's breaking point, that moment of truth where a decision has to be made. The pigeon's fate is now completely in the farmer's hands.
And the response is as brutal as it is swift. There's no trial, no appeal. The logic of this world is absolute. If you do not contribute, you're not just ignored, you are violently rejected. You're cast out. This is the price of not being useful. But just when it seems like all hope is lost for the pigeon, the story takes a totally unexpected turn. A new character steps into the picture, and with them comes a completely different way of seeing the world, one that isn't based on utility, but on something else entirely.
And this is the crucial part, the contrast in actions. The farmer responded with violence and rejection, but the hen responds with empathy. It doesn't ask how many eggs the pigeon can lay. It just listens, it understands the pigeon's suffering, and it offers a safe place.
This single act of kindness completely changes the pigeon's world. And so, we've arrived at our resolution. What does a home look like when it's built not on what you can offer, but simply on who you are?
The story ends with this simple, really beautiful sentence. And so the pigeon began to live with the hen. In this new little community, the pigeon's worth isn't measured in eggs anymore. It's found a home built not on productivity, but on compassion and, unconditional acceptance.
And so, we're left with this question, aren't we? The farmer's world of utility. It's efficient, for sure, but it's also incredibly brittle and unforgiving. The hen's world of compassion. Maybe it's less productive, but it's resilient and it's inclusive. So which world, when you really think about it, is truly the stronger one?